Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. A very rare how-to video, and it is a bit sarcastic. How I would water my Vandas in the morning. First of all, I don't do it first thing in the morning, the temperature's quite low. But when the temperature's getting up a bit and the sun's coming round, like it is now, we start to water our Vandas. I water my Vandas in a bucket. First of all, remove lid off bucket. Reason for lid on bucket, stops the algae building up. The mix in there is already done and checked on the TDS meter. Vandas, Phalaenopsis, strong feed. That actually reads about 335 on a TDS meter, which comes out at about 520 microsiemens. That might sound incredibly strong to a lot of you. I go stronger than that when they're growing actively in the summer. Strong mix for those two types and much less for others. So that's where it's about to go. Let's go and get it. I always start with that one because it's the one that comes first. Spanish moss, removable, in there. More Spanish moss, in there. More Spanish moss. That goes in there, that can have a nice soak. Why does it go in there and not in the bucket? Because the strength of the mix in the bucket would probably kill it. That's actually a much weaker mix which I use for my daily barks, my hanging, my mounts, my telumnias and things like that. They get fed every time, but nowhere near at that level. Next, remove Vanda from hanger, because I'm not watering it up there. Next, very carefully feed the roots into the bucket, making sure you don't leave any hanging out because you might break them. And once it's tidily in its bucket, that one always wants to hang out. Get in there. There we go. So, Vanda in bucket. Next, go and make a coffee. Whistle amongst yourselves. I changed my mind while I was out there. I had my toast and honey and basically turned the computer on, and I had a quick look on Facebook and I did some stuff. And eventually I came back with my coffee. The amount of time that Vanda spends in there varies from a couple of minutes to up to an hour. It really doesn't matter that much. It gets to the point where it has taken in as much water as those roots can handle in a single session. The fact that it's still sat in the water doesn't matter because it's just about to come out of the water anyway. So it really won't make a lot of difference to the poor thing. So it's had its proverbial soak. Roots nice and green. That's just what we want. Hang up to drip dry. And I don't mean dry, obviously. I just mean to get rid of the worst of the drips. The reason being, I don't want it dripping all over my oncidiums when I put it back. So that's it. Vanda watered. Nice bright green roots. Well soaked. None of this wishy-washy spraying. That's not going to get anywhere near enough water in for an actively growing Vanda. They need water. Dip them in some water. Dip them in a bucket. Dip them in the sink. Dip them wherever you like. And if they're actively growing, get the feed levels up. And then if you look at this Vanda that was purchased, these are the purchase leaves up through here. That was the lovely flower spike that you remember on a previous video. This is the one my daughter bought me. And these are the new leaves that I've grown. Slightly bigger and coming out at a good rate and nice and healthy. An actively growing Vanda. I would like it to see it push out a few more roots lower down, but nonetheless these are all good growing roots. There's a few manky ones in there, but they can stay there for a while. Quite honestly, they hold moisture, and if they're holding moisture, they're keeping the area around the good roots moist. Next job will be to hang it back up, dig out the Spanish moss, hang that around the roots and get it set up. Unfortunately, I can't do that until I've watered all the others. So, how to water a Vanda? good feed levels if they're actively growing, and just leave them to soak. And don't worry if they're in there an hour. Don't worry if they're in there 2 hours. There's people on YouTube growing plants in full water culture. It doesn't hurt them that much. Get your hydration and your feed into your Vandas, and hopefully get some nice bright light on them, and they may flower for you. That's probably the only how-to video you're going to get from me. And now, really, the reason I came out here, I've been buying orchids again. I've been naughty. Let's have a look and see what I got. First one, Oncidium type. You know I like my Oncidiums, but I fell for that. I fell for that almost black colour, but look at those little golden tips on the petals. I like that. I like that a lot. And as Oncidiums go, it's not a bad plant. It has actually got some active roots growing. I bet if I took that stake off the flower spike, the plant would wobble, but it doesn't matter. There's enough roots on there for me to get a good, strong, healthy plant once that flower spike's over. A lot of them are in the air, but out here where it's so moist, that does them good. So that's number one. I like that, and I think that flower is unique enough that I'll be able to dig in on the internet and actually find out what it's called as well. I'm sure it's got a name, but I like that one a lot. Delicate little patterning on the centre of the lip, a very deep red colour, and I know this camera is going to lighten that. They do that, aren't they wonderful? It's almost black. It really is dark, and each petal and sepal has got that delicate little tip on it. I like that one. And I bought another peasant orchid. I'm becoming a sucker for these. I'm getting back into Phalaenopsis. I'm going to stop calling them peasants. But I fell for that one. Very, very delicate colouring. Lovely deep gold on the lip. I like that. Typical Phalaenopsis shape. Or Phalaenopsis hybrid shape, should I say. The species are normally far from that. But that, let me just turn that fan off. Blowing a gale in here. There we go. Oh, silence. There we go. Lovely white edging to it, but a lovely magenta centre. Not pink, that's magenta. That's the Cattleya type colour. It's lovely. And then it very quickly fades away from the centre. It's a very big flower. Not huge for a Phalaenopsis, but big. So it's in the large category, shall we say. And a good plant. Lovely clean leaves. All the leaves are good. And it's got the odd root or two in the pot there. And now I'm being sarcastic again. That is an excellent root system. Right down into the bottom of the pot. Round the bottom of the pot. They're all bright green at the moment because I've just drowned it. It was very, very dry when I got it. That's a good root system. I like root systems like that. Media looks pretty good. It's a bark base, and yeah, it's okay. It's soaking wet at the moment. As I say, it was very dry. So, all in all, a good plant. I like that one. Okay, that's all it was. It was just a little bit of a sarcastic look at how I drown my Vandas and my new purchase. My new Phalaenopsis unnamed hybrid. I don't mind whether they've got names or not. The last bud is just opening. If that one's just opening, the first one's been open probably a week, maybe a week. I'll probably get 2 months out of these flowers. That's not bad value for money. And now the bit that will make you all absolutely sick. I paid £5 for that. You can do your own conversion into US dollars, Canadian dollars, Australian dollars or euros. I paid £5. In English money, that's nothing. That's not much more than a cup of coffee in Costa. What a plant. Love it. Thanks for dropping by then. See you again next time.